Hello and welcome to 2 Minute Tuesdays, short videos providing you with tips, events, info, and education. Brought to you by Forgotten Artist Productions, studio and education, and full-service production company. Hi, this is Michael from Forgotten Artist Productions, and this morning I was reading a script and engaging in script analysis, which is something that I do often as a director preparing for a play or a film, right? I value that part of the process, and I think it's really, really important. The more preparation that you have in the script, the better off you're going to be in the long run. So the thing that I was really thinking about is something that I said in a class recently when we were talking about script analysis and sort of breaking a scene down and figuring it out. And I guess that's my tip for the day is when I was talking about breaking a scene down into beats, right? And some of you watching this may know what I'm talking about, but then again, some of you may not. So the first job or responsibility that you have within a scene is to figure out, well, what's the intention of this scene? What does this scene need to convey, right? That's really important. And then once you determine that, you can go about sort of breaking that scene down into smaller parts. We break that scene down into smaller parts using beats, right? And each beat usually contains what we refer to as a piece of action, right? Now, what is that action? That action is usually represented by an action verb. So, for example, to walk, to eat, to watch something. You're creating an action. You're physically doing something, right? So the thing that slipped out of my mouth during that lesson, once I was talking about this and engaging in this conversation, the thing that came out of my mouth was, as the director, it's your responsibility to create action where there is no action. If you think about a script, it's just words on paper, right? You have to breathe life into it. You have to create energy. You have to create action, for those scenes and for the entire script. And the way you do that is breaking that script down into beats, and each beat contains a piece of action, right? And when you determine that, you have the ability to then figure out, how am I going to direct this scene or this beat, right? You have the ability then to direct the actors and provide them with action or motivation so they know what to act within that beat or scene. So if you think about this, each beat is usually a change of action. And if you think about two characters, the protagonist and the antagonist, and they're usually in conflict with each other, and you think about how conflict goes a lot of times in a movie, you may have something that goes something like, in terms of action anyway, to question, to withdraw, to interrogate, to run, to push, to flee, right? You're creating a piece of action within each beat. Each beat is a change of action, which ultimately gives the actors action, which gives them something to engage in, but you're creating life within each beat, within each scene. So it's really, really important for you to engage in that process, that script analysis process. And again, my tip for you today is just remember that as the director, you have the ability to create action where there is no action. Keep up with Forgotten Artist Productions at www.forgottenartistproductions.com, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. And you can always email us at info@forgottenartistproductions.com.